Namaste. Welcome everyone in this space. Today I would like to show you some most common yoga mistakes that a lot of beginners make, but actually not only the beginners. So I hope this video will be useful for you. And if you're new here, I am Maria and I share yoga, breathing, meditation to help you feel more relaxed and less stressed. So thank you so much for all your support and let's get started. So the first, I think one of the biggest mistakes that people make is not remembering to breathe. A lot of people are holding their breath while practicing yoga. There is no flow of the movement and breath, there's no connection. And sometimes it is actually very understandable since when we are feeling a little bit uncomfortable in the postures, when we feel like we really need to put a lot of effort, sometimes we forget to breathe. Sometimes we forget how important is the breath and how much it helps us to deepen the posture and to actually relax in the posture. So breathing is one of the most important parts of yoga. Actually, without breath, you cannot live, right? When you're holding your breath for too long, your brain stops working. So remember to breathe. Remember to breathe in any posture, slow breaths in and out. This will help to regulate your nervous system as well and help you feel more relaxed while practicing. Okay, number 2 is not using props. A lot of people who are just beginning their yoga journey or are a little bit further, they don't feel comfortable with using the blocks, with using bolsters, with using straps, because maybe it seems like this is only for beginners, maybe it seems like they are too advanced for it, or they just never tried it. But using the props is actually very, very useful and very beneficial for our practice. So for example, even when we sit, if you're sitting like this, if your knees are really high, you're rolling your back, maybe sitting on the block will help to open your hips a little bit more, drop your knees lower and open through your pelvis. Or in the postures where, for example, you can't reach the floor when you are doing, let's say, forward fold, right? And you have problems with reaching to the floor, you start rolling your back too much. So first of all, bending the knees and then using the block to help you here with support. And this makes posture so much easier, but it also helps with the right alignment. So the props, they really help to keep the right alignment, which is so much more important than actually reaching the floor or deeper stretch. The most important is to keep proper alignment with your body. Number 3 is our downward dog. So we normally start downward dog on hands and knees. We tag the toes and we lift up. And a lot of people, their back is very round like this, so there is too much pressure on the front. You are moving too much to the front instead of moving your body weight more to the back and then up. So most important in downward dog is not actually reaching your heels to the floor. It's amazing if you can do that. It's really nice. But first we focus on the right alignment. So we bend the knees, we lift the hips up. Most important is keeping the spine straight. Instead of rolling it, we're not rolling through the shoulders, through the upper body. We are lifting, so there is this extension of the spine and there is more space in the spine, and then you can slowly start straightening your legs and see if you can reach to the floor. If you can't reach, it's nice to place a block underneath your heel for support. And just remember that not everybody is built same, so every body is different. Some people can naturally touch the heels to the floor, some even after practicing yoga for years won't be able to. So have patience for yourself and remember to relax and not to tense your body in any of the postures. The next one, number 4, is our Cobra pose. So here is where most of the people, a lot of beginners make a mistake. So slowly, let's start by just lowering through the elbows, lowering down on your forehead. So hands are close to your body, hands are close to your chest, elbows are pointing backwards, so the elbows are really close to your body as well. Legs are extended and toes are pointed. Heels are a little bit towards each other, toes are outwards, and then we start to press up. So we press through the hands. You can stay first with your elbows bent, or you can straighten the arms. Remember, most of the mistakes are about this. So the shoulders are really close to the ears. There is no space in the neck. All that we can do here, and it's very easy, is to press and move the shoulders down. The shoulders are down and away from your ears. The chest is open. You can look forward or you can look up. But just please don't do this. And then the elbows going outwards, looking up, feeling so uncomfortable, so stiff in this posture. This is not healthy. Remember that when we tense in the posture, when we don't breathe, we can actually cause some injuries. So you can keep your legs apart, you can keep them together. Probably at the beginning, most comfortable is keeping them apart, and then the hips are off the mat, and we are opening up, and we breathe deeply. This is such an amazing stretch for the chest, for the heart space, and to open up from the front. So this was the Cobra, but there is a very similar posture that I would like to share about as well, is an upward dog. So in Cobra, the legs are touching the mat, and in upward dog, the thighs and the knees are not touching the floor. So we are only staying on the upper part of the foot, right? Just look at this when we lift up. So we need to lift up a little bit more. The legs and the feet are a little bit closer to each other. And again, we are lifting up, we are opening. You can keep looking front, and the whole legs are off the mat, only the top of your feet. And then a nice counter pose to release is a downward dog or a child's pose. Child's pose is really amazing. Whenever you just want to rest in between the postures, just make a shape of child's pose here, and this is so amazing for your spine. So the next one is Chaturanga. This is a posture right between our plank pose and the upward dog or Cobra. So this is a posture that not a lot of people actually pay attention to, and a lot of people do incorrectly. So we're going to start with plank, and if your plank is not proper, if your plank is not correct, it will be hard for you to actually do a proper Chaturanga. So remember, the hips here are not too low and not too high. This is not downward dog or something similar to downward dog. The hips are lower. So you really need to engage your core. You really need to engage your belly muscles, strong glutes as well, holding here, inhale. And an easier way of Chaturanga flow is just pressing the knees down first, then we bend the elbows, we go down on the chest and on the forehead. So if you cannot do Chaturanga, if your arms are not strong enough, just do this version. Otherwise, let's try our Chaturanga. So we're staying just on our toes here. We inhale. On the exhale, we just move the body weight a little bit more forward. So we're really just staying on the tips of the toes. And on the exhale, we start bending the elbows. So the elbows are again close to the body. And look, the body is still away from the mat. We are not putting the head nor the belly on the mat. And then slowly we can release down and we can lift up to Cobra. Or we can also do the flow without touching the floor with our belly, with the legs. So let's do it again. Inhale. Exhale, bending down, staying here. Notice if you can stay here. And lifting up. So open the chest, open to upward dog. And exhale, back to downward dog. And relax here. So we need to really have a strong core for Chaturanga and strong arms as well. The elbows are always pointing back, not outwards. Is really important. And you keep engaging through your core, through your upper body. Okay, and last one will be standing pose. So this is our warrior two. So we can start warrior two just by standing with the feet together in front. Then we move the leg back. One of the legs is back. So for me it's right leg back, left leg is front. So the front leg is always bent 90 degrees. We don't bend it too much. We don't bend it too little. And the weight of the legs is 40% on the front leg and 60% on the back leg. That's why it's so important that we don't put too much pressure and too much tension on the front leg, right? So we engage through the feet and now we open the arms. So a lot of people, what happens is that number one, the arms are not straight. So one arm is higher, another arm is lower. We want to have the straight line, the fingers pointing downwards, and we look towards the front arm. Another thing is that we don't bend the knee. We stay like this. We bend the knee too much. Remember about that. Remember about the weight of your legs as well. And another little mistake as well, actually not so little, is that some people move the hips too much to the front or too much to the back. And this creates already imbalance. If your hips are too much forward or to the back, look what happens with your knee. Your knee is going too much inwards, right? This is very not healthy, very unhealthy for the knee. So keep the knee aligned with your ankle in a straight line. We need to engage through the quadriceps. This is a really strong posture for the legs. And the weight of your upper body as well is in the center. So we don't move like this, more to the front of the upper body or more to the back. Again, you will start losing some balance. So try to keep your upper body, your hips aligned in the center. Your arms are stretching to both sides, nice and long arms. And your front leg is bent, back leg is straight. Normally it's open, like the foot is open right to the front, or it can be 45 degrees. Right from, normally we go from warrior one straight to warrior two without even changing the legs. So we go up and we open here. All right, these are some most common mistakes that I see in my students or in some other people who are just starting yoga journey. So I hope this video was useful for you. I hope you can use this to better your postures and be more aware of your alignment, of your body's alignment in the postures. And remember to breathe. Remember not to tense your body. Breathe and relax and enjoy the practice. I really hope this video helped you in some way, and if so, please leave me a comment, a like to this video, and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it so much, and it helps me a lot. Thank you. All the love, all the peace. Namaste.